What's going on, Canes fan? Welcome to Junior and the Big Dog, your favorite father and son duo covering Miami Hurricanes football and sports. How's everybody doing this evening? We apologize. We didn't do a breakdown of the pig game on Sunday. I was feeling down in the dumps and, had some kind of crazy symptoms. But
Yeah, scary
thankfully,
symptoms.
everything's good. So,
Yeah, he scared the hell out of me on Sunday, though.
yeah, I mean, I
Well,
had
what's going on when your son wakes up and says, "Listen, I don't think I can do this show today. I have a little bit of a fever. I have a cough, and you have a headache." So he had every
my
COVID
wife
symptom,
had like a sore throat, so
and
we're
she
like,
had it too. And then I'm thinking, oh my god! So now Junior, the wife, my grandkids, everybody's gonna get COVID, and so I started freaking out on Sunday. So that's why we didn't do the wrap up show Sunday morning, guys. Had a little bit of a scare, but fortunately, it wasn't anything. It was I wouldn't say anything. You didn't feel good for a couple of days,
I
or
still
for a
feel
little.
like crap, big dog. All right,
Yeah, but it didn't look to be COVID. So
yeah,
so it was a blessing
I
there.
was better. I was better the following morning.
Yeah,
But
but
like,
I didn't want to tell anybody what it was. I just wanted to say, we weren't going to be able to do the show, but
yeah,
that was the little scare that we had
it was like at
in the
three.
Rivero clan.
I'm telling you, like at 3 in the morning, man.
Uh,
I woke up with a migraine. I couldn't see. Like the baby was crying, and I looked at my wife, and I was like, I gotta go outside to the sofa because it just felt like, man, it was one of the worst headaches I've had in quite some time. So, and then finally I was able to get a little bit of rest, but then I woke up and I was just like, yo, yeah, I'm not, something's going on, but whatever. It is what it is.
let me
Canes
do
fam,
let me do a roll call. Oh,
go
you want
ahead.
to? No, go ahead. You do the
Yeah, man. So, yeah,
please, please go ahead.
we don't talk about my sickness, and we don't talk about our personal lives here at Junior the Big Dog. We talk about Miami Hurricanes football and sports. So if you guys are new here by any chance, man, and you enjoy the content or you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that sub button, hit the notification bell so you can get notified anytime me and the Big Dog do go live. We do our weekly live shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. like we're doing tonight, and we also do, depending on when the game is, whether if it's Friday, we'll do a show on Saturday, but we do our post game reviews on Sundays in the morning, usually around 11 in the morning. So we'll be doing that as well following the Virginia game this weekend. So hit that like button as well, man, if you can, man. If you want to contribute to the channel, to the super chat financially, you could do that, or you could PayPal me and the Big Dog. But the best way to help us out, man, is by spreading the word, sharing the video, and helping us grow the Junior and the Big Dog family. So go ahead, Big Dog.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to say, Mr. HD 904 Hurricane Chug Mo Beer. What do you say, Chug?
What up, Chug?
Cane Juice 305. Albert Martinez, Ben Pratt. What do you say, Ben? Big Kane, 863 Kane. What do you say, 863? Love that orange and green heart, baby. Baby Shack. Look at that. That isn't that thing of beauty?
Yeah.
With that orange and the green and the two U's in between. See, I was a poet. I didn't even know it. Lenoris, what do you say? Pack Addict. HJS Canes. How you doing, senor? Sammy. Dominique, what do you say, Dominique? Terrence, Tori, David, Orange and Greenblood, Cohen. This is for you, Cohen.
And HJS said he had a long night in the ER, so he's gonna be catching us on the replay tomorrow.
Oh man,
so one time for
I
Zoe.
hope everything. Yeah, well, Zoe, it's all about you, but I hope everything is okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Thomas Miles, yo, what do you say, Thomas?
Yo.
Roland, CJ, Concrete, DCPG 305. Chaos, what do you say, Chaos?
See now you're going. I'm not seeing everybody. Oh, there we go.
I'm not Ivory. I'll just say Ivory. I'm trying to make out with that Raider Steel.
Yeah,
Black Raider Steel. I think that's what it says. Ivory, what do you say? McLovin, Russell, what do you say, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. This is the best part of our week when we get to hang out with you guys and talk some Canes football, and lots to talk about. Some good. I'm not going to say some good. Mostly good. Obviously, some concerns here and there. But
I figured since we didn't do the
you want to start off with
we're
the
not gonna
Pittsburgh game?
yeah, we don't have to dive super deep into it, but basically, you know,
Yeah.
what me and you think about the pig game, our good takeaways, our negative takeaways from that, and then we'll go ahead and start jumping into some talk about Virginia. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good. The one I'll say this: my biggest concerns about the Canes, I can't complain about because they're being addressed, and that's
Bingo.
all you can ask. What's that?
Bingo.
Yeah, that wasn't the case last year, and is being the case this year. The two units that I think have really worried me, which were the two units that worried me. Actually, I'll say three units.
What's up, Captain
in our team. Offensive line, I think, has performed maybe a little bit better than what I feared. Not as good as I hoped. Jared Williams, you saw I guess he has a hand issue because I know you were asking about Zion Nelson, and then I saw some snap counts that were completely wrong because Jared Williams did, in fact, not play for last week. You saw Zion Nelson at right tackle. Had some mixed results with Zion. Definitely missed Jared Williams being there, especially against Pittsburgh.
Not just Zion, but I think there's some attention on the other side as well. Campbell.
Well, no, that's my point. And oh yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing: things are being addressed in a way that we hadn't seen before. And what did we hear this week? Wide receiver position wide open competition. You guys are not performing.
Yeah.
Okay. I know a lot of people, and guys, this is one takeaway I'd ask from you is don't focus on the result and focus on the actual play. By that, what I'm saying is this: a QB can underthrow a ball, it gets tipped, lands in the receiver's hands, and the receiver runs for a touchdown. When you're breaking down film, that isn't a plus. You don't go, oh, it ended a touchdown. It was a touchdown pass. No, you look at what the actual play was. The reason that I'm mentioning this is Rhett Lashley has been an upgrade. I saw after the Clemson game, a lot of people started criticizing him. Okay, offensive coordinators scheme until 3 a.m. trying to get their wide receivers in one-on-one coverage. How many times against Clemson did Rhett Lashley get a receiver isolated deep on one-on-one against Clemson?
Most of the night.
I couldn't even count them. That's how many times he was able to do it. And we won 0 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So when people are judging Rhett Lashley, don't look at the result of the play. Look at the scheme, what he was trying to accomplish, and if he accomplished it, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
And something that he has done every single week. We saw it at least twice against Pittsburgh, if not 3 times against Pittsburgh, in touchdowns. I say at least twice because the Cameron Harris and the Will Mallory were brilliant designs. The Mike Harley one wasn't so much of a design. It was a busting coverage.
Right.
That the 2 guys went with 1 guy and then they left Harley alone. So that's different. That's a player mistake.
Right.
But you're still trying to put those players in those types of situations where those mistakes can occur.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eric King saw it, boom, hit Harley. Harley spun into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah.
But you look at that Cam Harris touchdown and the Will Mallory touchdown. That's Rhett Lashley is the one that should get the rings, should put on the rings, because those were designs, and he does that every week. Every week he gets us in a position, and that's all you can ask.
Besides Clemson, I think you can make a case that, but even with Clemson, like you said, I mean, this is what and you
wish
it was inevitable.
Coordinator, you pray for a wide receiver to get one-on-one deep against a DB, and we got it more than half a dozen times.
Right, but this is something that I feel was inevitable, and I say that because we said it since the first couple of games of the season. Tight ends were involved. Running backs were involved. Where are the wide receivers? We said it early on. Man, can you tell me who's the number one wideout?
Okay, let me ask you a question.
So then, what have teams have been doing now?
We are 4-1 right now, right?
Yeah.
Name me one play this year that a wide receiver just flat out beat his man.
Probably just the D Wiggins touchdown against FSU.
Okay, Keyshawn Smith last game.
Keyshawn Smith deep. Last game.
Actually, he's done it twice now. That he's gotten deep like that twice.
Right.
D Wiggins, I think one other time.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're in game 5 of the year, and our wide receivers just have not. It's amazing. I mean, we're averaging what 30.
But we were having this problem last year.
Oh, absolutely. We're not getting separation.
Right.
We're not getting separation. And last year, you could say, okay, I'm going to blame scheme on it somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Can't blame scheme for it now.
Right. But now what teams are now what Virginia, I'm sure, is going to do the same thing. They're going to stack the box.
Stop our running game, focus on our tight ends in the middle of the field, and leave their cornerbacks on the island with our receivers.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like Brevin's going to be playing this weekend either.
No, it doesn't sound. It sounded like he will be back relatively soon. So it doesn't sound like he's out for an extended period of time. But fortunately, we do have Mallory in there. Man. I think
we'll get into some Tua talk after we break down the Canes.
Yeah. Absolutely, we'll get into some Tua talk. New York City Canes says wide receivers from the Rick there. I mean, we should play the freshmen. Some of them absolutely are from the Rick era. But listen, Mark Pope was a borderline 5-star. I think he was a 5-star in Rivals and a high 4-star in 247.
Right.
Are we seeing that? This is his 3rd year in college.
All right, so big dog. Okay, I'm an avid fan of the Miami Hurricanes. Okay, so
right.
Why? They're fast, they're talented, big dog. Why are they not getting separation? Explain it to me, like if I'm just an avid fan and I'm watching the Canes and I'm like, okay, Mark Pope, talent. D Wiggins got time as the fastest guy last year for the Miami Hurricanes. Okay,
right.
Harley,
23 miles an hour. Yeah,
right. Harley. So the speed is there, talent is there. You want Jeff Thomas is another one that was super fast. Okay,
but Jeff, you used to see separation consistently. He just didn't always play with the effort level that you'd like.
Right.
But when there was a bunch of times that you see Jeff Thomas and he was like wide open.
Okay.
We just miss him a lot.
You would.
Yeah.
KJ Osborne.
KJ wasn't physically gifted, but KJ KJ knew how to position himself. And you're asking me, what am I seeing from the wide receivers that they're not getting that separation?
Right.
I'm seeing very poor route running. Very poor route running.
So you don't think it's
and guys,
something schematic?
No, not at all.
Schematically,
dude, they've had their one-on-ones all over the place.
I know.
Lashley is getting.
Do you put some of the blame on De'Aaron King? He's been overthrowing guys. He's been underthrowing guys.
He's been off all year. All year on the deep ball, he's been off, which is really frustrating because that was one of his strengths. That was one of his strengths, is that we love the way he threw the deep ball. And he's one of these guys, and I'm not comparing him, but I'm saying one of these guys like Russell Wilson that puts a lot of air on deep balls.
Right.
And De'Aaron King, that's one of his strong suits. So he hasn't, for one reason or another, he hasn't been on.
Now, do you think that's a consequence of that De'Aaron King is a quarterback that needs to have a flow going in order for him to feed off of momentum? And do you think that the fact that we can't run the ball, the fact that we're getting, down in distance, on third downs, especially
because
that more pressure is being put on. So it's disrupting his flow a little bit. And maybe that's what.
No, I don't. I do think that the chemistry between him and the wide receivers has not. And the thing is with De'Eric is he's such a hard worker and such a good leader.
Right.
Thank you so much, Norman, for the donation.
Norman always coming through with the donos, man. He says got to keep their linebacker Snowden from being a factor.
No. Listen, Virginia, I get it.
Yeah.
I get that Virginia has given up, 38 points or more in their 3 losses. I get that. And people are saying, well, this is not the Virginia defense that Bronco Mendenhall is used to, and there's some truth to that. Now, that being said, I do want to get back, but thank you so much, Norman, for the comment and for the donation. Okay, when you say people,
I've been saying this, but look, I've been saying this.
Go ahead.
And I've been saying this since the beginning of the year. I've always wanted Pope in the slot.
That's a good point, Tori. That's a good point.
I've always wanted Pope in the slot.
And that's always been his thing, too, and I agree with both of you. I think Pope's bet, but the problem is Harley's not an outside the numbers receiver.
Well, Pope is proving not to be one either, big dog.
Yeah, you got a point, man. You got a point.
So,
you got a point.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, you got a point. I thought we were over recruiting slot type of receivers. I did. I thought we needed another outside the numbers guy.
We need some size.
We needed. Now, Michael Redding has it. Jeremiah Payton, Keyshawn Smith.
Keyshawn Smith has it.
But those are all 6'1" guys. D. Wiggins is our biggest receiver at 6'3".
Yeah.
But
Jeremiah Payton has it.
He's 6'1". He's 6'1" too. I mean, all 3 of those guys are 6'1". The problem is this. I've seen Keyshawn Smith twice get deep. Now, one was on a trick play. So if you want to ding him for that and say it wasn't just him beating his guy, but you look at the game against Pitt, he blew he blew the doors off his guy. He beat that guy by at least 3 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, De'Eric King underthrew it a little bit, and then he got interfered with because the guy got there way early, and then you see the damn back judge with his hand on the flag, and he doesn't throw it. Right. Was he doing like Terry Porter? He was replaying the play in his mind.
No, that's exactly what he did.
That's what it looked like to both of us, is that he was replaying. It's like, no, dude, when you see a penalty, you throw the flag. You don't. That's the problem with Terry Porter that we got so angry. You don't replay a play in your mind. You see a penalty, you throw the flag. You don't see the penalty, play's over.
Right.
And he had his hand on his flag as he sees the guy gets there way early and rakes both of Keyshawn Smith's arm. And Keyshawn, when he gets a little bit more experience, he'll jump up and start demanding that call, and probably he get the damn call. I mean, I hate to say that because you wouldn't think that works, but sometimes it does work. Yeah, when you get up and you start,
you see it all the times on Sundays.
Yeah, and they throw out the flag. So, but he's gotten deep on his guy and beat his guy straight up, beat him. Yeah. Not a broken coverage, just I'm going long and you're not staying with me. Mm-hmm. And he stacked his guy. That's another thing, man. Our receivers are not doing a good job on their deep patterns of stacking their defensive man. You want to get that defensive man. If you get a step, you want to stack him on your hip. Okay, that way you have control of it, and there's going to be 3 types of balls. Okay, obviously he can overthrow you by a lot, and it doesn't matter. But either he throws it on target, in which you catch it for a big gain, okay, or he underthrows you, and you come back to the ball through your man. Meaning 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to catch the ball, or they're going to throw the flag. And he's not stacking. We're not stacking our guys on the 9 patterns, on the flies, on the bombs. Not really running patterns crisply, not being fast out of our breaks. In fact, I think that's one of the things that Manny addressed when he said that the wide receiver competition was open. That guys are running their patterns on Green Tree the way they want to see them, and come game time, he doesn't see stacking the defender. he doesn't see the patterns being run as crisply as they are on Green Tree.
Right.
And that's a concern. And that's what helps. Listen, you can get a guy that doesn't. Greg Roberts, thank you so much, Greg, with a donation. He says, "Let's go Canes." Thank you, Greg.
Appreciate that, Greg. Thank you, man.
You see guys all the time get open that are not speed demons.
Yep.
Okay. In fact, let's go. You go down the list. Greatest wide receiver of all time, arguably the greatest football player of all time, Jerry Rice, ran a high 4.5 when he came out of college. In fact, and we're out of what college? Mississippi Valley State. So a guy that didn't go to one of the football factories, okay, ran a high 4.5. Did you ever see Jerry Rice get caught from behind? Did you ever see Jerry Rice not be able to get open? Seriously. Because even a guy like Dion that gave him trouble, I'm not saying because Dion gave everybody trouble in coverage, but Jerry won his share of his battles against Dion too. Okay, but yet he ran patterns beautifully, perfectly every single time.
Steve Largent was Seattle, right?
Steve Largent. There you go. That's another one.
That's a good example.
That's a perfect example.
Before my time, though. But
but when Steve Largent retired from football, he was the leading receiver of all time.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a guy that wasn't going to win any races.
Yeah.
but was always open.
Yeah. If you had a pick, big dog, it's a good question from Jose. It says, just curious, guys, what would your 3 starting wide receivers be if you could choose? Where you at on that, big dog?
If I could choose. Oh, yeah, thank you. Art Monk is another one. There you go. That's another guy that didn't have speed. That's a good question. All right. From what I've seen thus far.
Yeah.
Now, okay. I would say I agree with both of you. I give Pope a shot in the slot along with Harley. And I'd probably go D. Wiggins. And then a combination of Jeremiah Payton, Keyshawn Smith, and
Michael
Redding on the outside. And you could move one of those to D. Wiggins' the slot. That's fine. If you have 3, you want to make 2 on each side, put one of those guys on D. Wiggins' the slot, which I think they had Keyshawn Smith with D. Wiggins' the slot. You want to do that and put Jeremiah Payton and because they had, if I'm not mistaken, I think they had, that's what they had. They had D. Wiggins and Keyshawn Smith on the X, and then have Jeremiah Payton and Michael Redding on the Z.
You know what I feel like seeing?
What's that?
You know what I feel like and I'm being 100% honest here. If you tell me right now, hey, who do you want? 3 wide receiver set, start off the game.
Okay.
Give me X in the slot and give me Smith and Redding.
Oh, why don't you want to go all 3 freshmen?
Let's do it, man.
Okay.
Pope hasn't shown me nothing.
Payne has showed me a little. He just hasn't had as much playing time.
Yeah, but he hasn't had as much as I love Jeremiah Payton, and I'm not including Jeremiah Payton when we're talking about
in the underperforming
department. We're talking about wide receivers.
I agree,
but I want to see what X is capable of. We've seen flashes. Yeah, I want to see what X is capable in the slot. I think and Manny has talked about it. Especially for the freshmen, this kind of year is hard, man. It's hard to catch up.
Really hard. It's really hard.
Spring.
But let's remember, X-Men reported in January.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Smith wasn't an early, but
no.
Did Redding report in January? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Was he early?
I think Redding was early.
I know X was.
X was for sure. I think he was.
And and Jeremiah was early last year. So he reported in January last year.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's it, Millie. I don't look.
What's that?
Hurricane Millie saying, Junior, do you think plays down the field taking too long to develop? I don't think so, because we've seen the one-on-one matchups.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing, Millie. We've gotten those one-on-ones that we want.
Exactly. And listen, man, when you got the talent
That's fair, Tori.
that we think that we got at the wide receiver position, man, you got to be able to win some of those some of those balls. And you guys want to point to why we're not as okay. First of all, we're coming off of 2 games where we're facing 2 of the best defenses that we're going to face all year. So that's already out the window. Okay, Clemson was the best defense we're going to face all year, and Pitt was the second best defense we're going to face all year. So some of those struggles on offense, you do got to give the other team credit.
Right.
Okay, because I started seeing, and those of you that follow me on Twitter, man, the first drive and everybody's like, everybody's like if Pitt is like sucks on defense and we should beat them 52-10 like we did FSU. Pitt is not just one of the best defenses
very good defense
in the ACC. They're one of the best.
Pitt has a bunch of dudes that'll be playing on Sundays.
They'll be playing on Sundays. They got one of the better defenses in the country. So you're coming off of two straight games where you're playing two of the better defenses in the country, and Clemson arguably the best defense in the country. So hold your horses and like my dad said early on, okay, don't just look at the result. You got to see the in-betweens, all right? So you have to give your opponent credit. This whole idea that Miami is supposed to be steamrolling every single team that we played, it's not realistic, man.
Right.
It's not. It's just not, because we have pointed to all of the improvements that we've made.
But we still have some units that are not where they need to be.
Okay, fine. Right. But that goes to
3 specifically. There's 3 specifically: wide receiver, offensive line, linebacker. Those are the 3 units that we need.
We're gonna get. We got to talk about the linebackers as well.
We will.
Because
we will.
But so
put Dante's. KJ was fast enough, Dante, but it's not the speed. It's pattern running. We have plenty of speed, and KJ ran his patterns smoothly. And you know what it is, Dante. If you run a pattern the proper way, you don't have to even be fast. You will get open.
Right.
Okay, you will get open. I mean, again, I go back to the greatest receivers of all time. Other than Randy Moss, there isn't a speed demon out there. Maybe you could say Terrell Owens, but even Terrell Owens wasn't. I mean, he was plenty fast. I mean, yeah, I guess I would include him as a, but he was also a power receiver because he was 6'3" and ripped.
Yeah. Jose, Pitt's 2 losses came by a combined of 2 points.
Yeah, no.
Both their losses were 1-point losses.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, they very well could have been undefeated.
They're a quality team. Yeah,
they're not pushovers,
no,
man.
That was Jose's point.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. So, but I think the fact that teams are now going to challenge us, challenge our wide receivers. Okay,
hold on. Millie said a name, and that's a good name to point out, is Galloway. Galloway was a serious speedster, even late in his career. But Galloway, at no time would you have put him in the top 5 receivers in football. At no time of his entire career. And he was a speed demon. I mean, he was probably high 4.2s at one point. Galloway was fast, but he wasn't. And guys, the list is long of guys that were burners that weren't great receivers. And you look at a lot of the great receivers, and I'm not talking about Jerry Rice and Steve Largent, but I'm talking about Fitzgerald wasn't a speed demon. Now Fitzgerald had a tremendous amount of size to him, for sure. Okay, and he could run well, and he had some of the best hands in the history of football. Chris Carter couldn't beat anybody in a race.
Yeah.
Seriously, Chris Carter was slow even when he came out of Ohio State. Chris Carter had no speed. Dude's in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
You know, there is as many receivers that weren't speed demons as there is those that were. And it's because of the way you run patterns. It's getting in and out of your break. Anquan Bolden, there you go, Big King. That's another one. Anquan wasn't going to beat anybody in a foot race.
Mm-hmm. No, there's a million examples, but we're starting to see the scheme that defenses are going to start, implementing with the Canes. Man, they're going to make our wide receivers beat them.
Yep, they're
You know what I'm
gonna
saying?
they're
Because
gonna try
they
to
know
take
we have
away.
a staple of running backs.
There you go. They're
They
gonna
know
stack
they
the
know we
box.
have our tight ends.
Try to take a running game and take our tight ends from the middle of the field away from us.
Exactly.
And then beat
away
us with your wide receivers.
Take away the middle of the field and show us, if your wide receivers could beat our DBs. And we haven't seen that.
Put Slim Shady. Thank you, Slim, for the donation and a very good comment.
And the
that
fact
goes
that
to what you're saying.
And the fact that we haven't seen that is the reason why we can't get a running game going. The reason why they're stacking the box. The reason why this Miami offense isn't the Miami offense that we saw against, FSU, against Louisville, even against UAB is kind of like an outliers first game, so we didn't see that much of a passing attack anyway because we were running at will. But I mean, this is the reason why we're starting to see struggles. Okay, and we Slim Shady Canes with a $5 donation. Thank you so much.
Very good comment, Slim.
Not just Pitt's defense, but in past years, past Miami would have lost to Pitt after loss like Clemson.
That's exactly right. You're absolutely right. And that's the takeaway. Slim, I'm sorry that I know I took. First off, thank you for the donation, for the comment. I was taking a very long route to get there, but that's where I was going to get to. Is that while there's some concerning things, guys, we scored 31 points against Pitt, even though it was hit and miss.
Yeah.
Okay, and we still scored 31, and we still won.
Right,
and we won comfortably. Didn't blow them out. 31. I'm sure 31-19 is not a blowout, but we beat them comfortably.
But I didn't expect to blow out Pitt, though.
No, I didn't either. I
never expected to blow out Pitt.
Like Jose said, both of the losses were by what, 1 point or 1 and 2.
No,
they were both by 1 point.
They were both by 1 point.
Yeah, they were both by 1 point.
Yeah, so
there you go.
I didn't go into the game, expecting, but guys, we didn't. As bad as we were, and as many third and longs that we had, we scored 31 points. Okay.
And we're averaging thus far in the season. What are we averaging? Like 34, 35 a game?
I would have to check. I would have to check. But
I think it's probably going to be somewhere around 35 or so.
But I just think that, listen, and in terms of the differences that we're seeing as well, guys, we're complaining about the wide receivers, and what is the coaching staff doing?
Yeah, that's actually the point that we were starting to make. Is, guys, what I love seeing is wide receivers underperforming. They're not living with it. Competition's open. Everybody's job's up at wide receiver. Love to see that. Love to see that. So
we'll see, man. Hopefully, we'll
absolutely,
see.
Dante. Absolutely. Listen, speed helps, but we got plenty of speed, man.
Yeah.
It's just with their route running is not at all anywhere near where it needs to be.
Right.
And we don't. I mean, I could see those in the freshman guys. We're not seeing it in the freshman guys only. We're seeing it in our 3-year guys, in our 4. I'm not going to say. I mean, to an extent, I guess we're seeing it somewhat with Harley. But with Harley, his routes are pretty crisp for the most part. But from the slot, it's a little different ball game. But we just have to see better performance from the wide receivers. I think the offensive line, the fact that Jared Williams went down and we were able to at least sort of hold our own a little bit, was telling, because Pitt's front seven is for real. Mm-hmm. So overall, listen, a lot of and that's what, and to Slim Shady's point, and it's true, is, and thank you again, Slim. But to his point, is true. This is the type of game that we would have lost last year.
Oh yeah,
being down after the Clemson game, not a lot of fans in the stadium.
I mean, you removed those 2 touchdowns by Will Mallory that was pretty much schemed up and set up by Red Lashley. And what kind of game are we?
One was, the other one was Cameron Harris. Remember, Mallory's other one was like he really did a really see that. There you go. That's exactly the
confused. Point. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, but that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Look at the way Mallory got open on the short touchdown. Is he ran that pattern perfectly, pretended like he was blocking, held the fake, okay, and then just peeled out. And it was what happened? 6.
No, we didn't almost lose this one. No. We didn't almost lose it. To LeBron's point here, he says, "I'm late, but y'all mentioned the Dunson calling out the fake punt. That
beautiful
on that fake punt,
man. Yes, I got so thrilled with that. I got so thrilled because that's a young man, and I don't know if you guys seen the play that Dunson made on that fake punt and the way that he was not fooled. I tell you what, man, that young man's a player. Logan with the donation. Thank you, Logan, man. It's always good to see you. And yeah, good point. He says Bandy and Thomas. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Bandy and Thomas are both out of football.
I know.
Yeah. And I hope these young guys see that, man. And this is not, listen, all of us root for our Canes when they go in the NFL. But it's the grass isn't always greener, and staying that extra year. In the NFL, the thing with the NFL is if you're
not for long.
Yep. If you're a free agent or you're, a late round draft pick, you're going to get an opportunity, but you're only going to get one.
It's an uphill climb, and you got to turn some heads in order for you to
get a real shot. Heads. And you have to, and then if you get that opportunity, you better seize it because, the first rounder, he's going to get some opportunities to fail.
Yeah.
But the 7th rounder, if you get put in there, you gotta make something happen. And I think these young guys need to see that sometimes staying that extra year, that's a big, big difference.
Yeah.
That's a big, big difference.
So what I am confident in is I really do believe this 100% that whoever starts at wide receiver in the slot and the outside on Saturday, they earned it, man. And that's all I asked for.
Put Tory Evans' comment.
I
like that comment, Tory. You're 100% right. Go ahead and read his comment.
Yeah, he says Ed Reed said, if you don't want to compete, don't come here. And he's telling Coach Diaz, open up this competition.
Yep.
Maybe.
Listen, game 1, we ran for 300 yards against UAB. He benched Traore and started Ja'Kai Clark.
Yeah, no, we're seeing, and I think it's also a, how can I say this? I think it's also a result of how good this 2020 class is as well.
Yeah, these young kids, man.
And yeah. I just think I don't
know if you guys saw the Manny show, but he broke down a kickoff return. And he showed all these freshmen. There was a couple players. By the way, what a game Takori had. Let's talk about that.
We got to talk about Takori. We got to talk about, Corey Flagg.
Corey Flagg, the best safety in the country in Bubba Bolden. Yeah, got a couple. Here
we go. Here we go. Dreadlock 53 should have left.
Thank you, Dread.
53 should have left at QB Dread competition.
I've seen a lot of. Bradley Jennings hasn't played well.
Right.
Wayman Steed hasn't, he's been hit or miss. Bradley Jennings has been hit or miss too because he's had some good games, but then he's had some terrible games.
They've also, I don't know if it, it depends if you want to use this as an excuse or not, but they were hurt for quite some time, man. So Steed and Jennings.
Oh yeah. No, I get it.
So they were out.
Played a ton.
Yeah. They haven't played a ton. So,
but thank you, Dred, for and as far as QB competition, Dred, I don't see it. I think King is other than the deep ball, which he has struggled with all year, he's been what we expected to, and I think he's been a hell of a leader too. So,
King's the guy.
Yeah, King's the guy. Norman, is that Norman?
Yeah, it's Norman. He says lack of experience at wide receiver is due to the non-due diligence of the previous staff. Ezra was the next Anquan Bolden. Brian Hightower was too slow. That's pretty high praise. Big Dog knows. Big Dog knows.
You like Ezra a lot.
I like that. I wouldn't.
Yeah, you like Ezra. You like Ezra more than I did.
Yeah, I don't think I want to say Anquan. I think Anquan Bolden is setting the bar a little too high for Ezra,
right.
but I did like him though.
Yeah.
I did like him.
Hightower. I mean, Hightower. I agree he wasn't a burner, but I liked Hightower, and I thought Hightower could have definitely be. Listen, man, his first game of his entire college career, he catches exactly what we talked about right now against LSU's DBs, which were draft picks in the NFL. Hightower, was the backup because that was the play that the cornerback had gone down. But Hightower went up and got it, and then we hardly used him.
Yeah. Hey, I think this is a good question, man. It says why don't we put Flag, Brooks, and Carter at linebacker? They have speed from sideline to sideline, and Carter has high IQ.
So it means Carter at striker, and then Flag and Brooks.
First of all,
we saw some of that. Though.
Listen,
we saw some of that. We saw Flag and Brooks on the field at the same time.
We did, but my man, I do not want, because somebody that we haven't talked about yet and has been holding it down the whole year has been Gilbert Frierson.
I do like Gilbert Frierson.
I do not want that is that man's position, and I do not want anybody taking any playing time away from Gilbert Frierson. He is lighting it up.
Now, if you want to give some snaps to Carter at striker, I'm okay with that too.
Oh yeah, but
I'm okay with that too. But no, Gilbert Frierson has been playing. Lights out. He's been playing very, very well.
He's been playing man.
If you want to count a striker as a linebacker, then he's been the best one.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made. I mean,
and I know for some reason there's people
breakups, wrapping up. I mean, just. And good instincts,
people
man.
That don't like Frierson, and I don't get it at all because
man,
he's been balling.
Who doesn't like Frierson?
No, there's some people that just don't like Frierson.
I will slap him right now. What do you mean you don't like Frierson? Are you kidding me?
I do. I
Come
think
on, man.
He is playing that striker position the way Romeo Finley played the previous
year. Yeah, because he was banged up.
Right. And the previous year. And Frierson's been playing that type of ball. Yeah. I mean, I think Frierson is playing really, really well. But I think Anthony's saying that, and maybe I think that's what they were saying also, is that maybe Amari has an actual linebacker, not just a striker.
Yeah.
Lakers
all day saying he's a. I mean, listen, we brought Frierson in to be a Carter riser bench before he played striker. Yeah. Because I've heard a lot of people talk about moving Carter up to be one of the linebackers. But listen, and I haven't touched on this point yet because I don't think we really you talked about it very briefly. But Corey Flagg, man, listen, he's not a guy that's gonna turn your head at a combine, but
he's a football player. That
young man is a football player. It felt like when he was on the field, there was a magnet on that ball, and Corey Flagg had the opposite side of the magnet.
If I'm not mistaken,
he was around that ball, man. He had great instincts.
You can look it up while I'm talking, dude. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he made something like 161 tackles or something like that.
It sounds about right.
His last year in high school. Yeah. That dude is just a tackle monster, man. And I know he only runs a 4.7. I get it. And he's only 5'10 or 5'11. I get it.
Yeah.
He's a football playing Jesse. Corey Flagg is a football playing Jesse, man. And you're right. LeBron Alston says that's the Texas recruitment pipeline.
Hey, man.
And Tyreek Austin Cave actually looked good too on kickoff coverage.
On special teams,
yeah, on special teams. And he's the better athlete. Tyreek Austin Cave is a better athlete. Tyreek actually ran 55 meter in track. In New Jersey, so
but I told you because I was like, Big Dog, there's one player in particular that I'm so excited about, and you guessed it because you saw the same thing.
Yeah.
Corey Flagg. It just felt, man, he was just great instincts.
Yep.
Fundamentals. I mean, it's just I think the future is going to be bright for that young man. I really do. When it comes to athletically, okay, Brooks has shown some bright spots, but you guys need to understand, like
it's hard.
Linebacker
It's hard.
is Corey Flagg's position.
Yeah.
And that's what he played, and some players just have a natural instinct for a certain position. Brooks was a pass rusher, man.
He was defensive end. Yeah, and now listen, and now you not only are you putting him at linebacker, you're putting him at middle linebacker. Right. So it's going to take him a minute.
You got the hat on that defense. So
yeah,
it takes a while. What up, Wholesome? Wholesome one.
What do you say, Wholesome?
In the house. So I was pleasantly surprised with Flagg, man. And like I said, man, Gilbert has been holding it down, man. Bubba Bolden has been our best player on defense.
Yeah, you can make a case he's been our best player.
I mean, he's just man. Me and the big dog, I think we caught some slack for this. Being that he was a transfer.
Yes.
We caught some slack for this because people were going, oh, Gervin Hall and Amari Carter, and we're just like,
we got some flack, yeah.
We're like, but this dude Bubba, and he is.
Wholesome's another one that was with us on that one. He was with us on that one.
Oh yeah, he was one of
the few that was with us. His light-skinned warrior.
His light-skinned warrior.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But I remember specifically.
But we didn't catch a lot of
slack because I said that man Bubba Bolden is the best DB that we got. As soon as he got here, I said that man is the best DB we got. And you guys are seeing it every single game, man.
When he got injured last year, our defense went south immediately.
Yeah.
Dreadlock, thank you so much, Red.
With another $5 donation, he says Baker said after the game 53 and the other guy was up and down, but talked up Flagg and Brooks.
That's fair.
I mean, you got to, because
that was honest. That was honest.
If you had any eyes, I mean, you could see that Flagg and Brooks popped up, out of your screen, man.
And I'll tell you, Dred, I had, as much as I loved, and you guys remember when we did the breakdown on Flagg.
What's up, Anthony?
I loved his heart. I loved his heart. I loved the way his intelligence. I love his instincts, but he's undersized and he's not very fast. So when you see those two things, you start saying, well, going up to the next level, what did he prove? A football playing Jesse.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wholesome. Yeah, please hit the like button, guys. Corey Flagg is a football, absolutely, Wholesome. That's exactly what we were talking about.
We were just talking about that, Wholesome.
Absolutely.
I'm going to feel comfortable going into Saturday knowing that whatever wide receivers start the game,
they earned that job. He earned that job.
They earned
exactly.
And even if we see D, Pope, and Harley out there, I'm going to be like, all right, they took the message and hopefully they wake up and message came across loud and clear. There is no seniority here. That's it. Open competition. And if we do see Wiggins, Pope, Harley, it's because
the young guys
weren't up
to stuff yet.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. The young guys aren't necessarily ready. But I think nonetheless, we're going to continue seeing more reps. More reps and more snaps for these younger wide receivers, man. But and we're seeing it at linebacker, man, which I'm just,
dude, if you can make a case, that look at Corey Flagg. Number one, not only is he a true freshman, he was a true freshman that was a lightly regarded true freshman. I mean, when he came out of high school, because of his size and I think he, like you said, he ran a 4.7 and change in high school. So he was not one of the hot shot recruits. Doesn't matter. And the fact that he's earned playing time as a true freshman, when you have all these other upperclassmen above him, because you're not just talking about McLeod, you're talking about Bradley Jennings. Okay? And if you want to go over to the weak side, you're talking about Wayman Steed. You're talking about Avery Huff. You're talking about guys that are very highly thought of. And we saw Brooks and Flagg in the game on multiple occasions against Pitt.
Yep.
And the fact that Flagg because Junior texted me and he said, you know what guy has really impressing me And I answered to him. I said, the number one guy I put down is Corey Flagg.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about to Corey? Three pass breakups.
Corey played awesome, man.
Corey played really, really well, man. And I just love the way he competes. Overall, man, listen, there's a lot of things to be happy about. There really is. Now, are there some things, some concerns? And if you go by unit, Norman, thank you again, Norman, with the will we see Daz Worsham play this season? I don't see
what's going on with what's going on with that, because I haven't seen him at all. Have you?
I have not seen him at all.
Thank you for the dono, Norman. Now,
all
right. Go ahead. We're not gonna do it, big dog.
What's that?
We're not gonna give our opinion on why we think that we're not seeing a lot of that.
Oh.
If it is the case.
No, okay. I mean, because he was fighting hip issues. He had some hip issues.
He has some hip issues, but if I'm being honest with you guys, in terms of just film, I'm talking about just film. All right. Keyshawn Smith, Restrepo, Redding, obviously Jeremiah, but let's just talk about the freshmen. Those are all guys that, in my book, are just more talented than Daz. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I understand a lot of people were high on Daz because we took him from Bama and he's a 4-star. But me and the big dog we're pretty transparent about it. Like I think he's a solid player. I'm not downing him.
And he seems to be a great kid. He's a great kid, hard worker, good route runner, good hands.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. He's a good route runner, good hands. There might be something there, man. Like we said, this 2020 has been a crazy year. All right, not a full spring. All right, summer workouts, wasn't like they've been in any other year besides 2020. Fall camp, I mean, so there's a lot of things that players that we might or that players that we were high on, and Manny has even talked about it, man.
But I know you're trying to be. You're trying to be nice.
No, because I don't like. I'm not gonna bash the kid.
We're not gonna bash him. And listen, he brought a lot of positives to the table, but ultimately,
I'm not saying he's not gonna be nice, but
I thought people got excited by the signing because of the whole Alabama and he was committed to Bama and this and that. But frankly, I don't know if he gets the rating that he got if he wasn't an Alabama commit. And when I watched this tape,
wholesome,
you saw the tape too.
Yeah,
there was nothing special there, man. There just wasn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Concrete. He's gonna be a 5-year guy unless he sees the writing on the wall.
Listen, man, and the young man was a very good route runner and had good hands.
And guys, look who we got coming in 2021. I mean, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know.
That was the thing. I just thought, well, what we thought. We both thought that people were excited because of the Bama connection and not because of the tape. So
yeah.
And I hope to God the best thing that could happen for me is for him to prove us wrong, for Daz to come out and light it up. So and listen, I never root against a young man. So if my take on him isn't real good, I'm praying that he proves me wrong. So
yeah, LeBron says I'm glad nobody mentioned how good DJ Ivey been playing. That's because he heard us and he heard the criticism.
No, DJ's been playing much better.
No,
DJ's been playing much better.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, one of those things, guys. Listen, we want every single player. We want them, if they're wearing orange and green, we want them to ball out. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Holtzman says, can we talk about how before we go ahead and get to the D line? No, you know what? Let's go ahead and get to the D line, and then we'll talk. We'll talk about what I want to bring up after we cover the D line. Holson says, "Can we talk about our D line dominated this past weekend, especially off the edge?" Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. They're playing some good ball. Quincy Roche, I thought, had his best game. I think Manny said the same.
Nesta,
I think he had the best game. Nesta's starting to be Nesta. Starting to be like exactly the guy that we hoped he was. Oh, Jonathan Flag, check it out. He says, Corey Flag, thank you, Jonathan, for the donation.
Of mine, I love the content, and McLeod shouldn't be starting. King is pressing. Need to relax and play his game. And should he come back? I'm guessing. Is that what you're saying?
That's probably his question.
Well, hey, Jonathan, you make sure to tell your cousin.
Keep going, man.
Boy,
we're so happy to have him. The young man is balling.
Oh,
young man is balling.
Hey,
talk about that's a perfect example, guys. That's a perfect example. I saw Corey Flag as a highly productive high school player that I thought would be limited at the next level because of. Listen, some of the best players, we've been talking about this really for a lot of the show, don't have the greatest physical attributes for their position, but they're great players. But at the same time, there is a minimum standard, guys. There is a prerequisite of certain athletic ability that you need to play at a high level. Mm-hmm. Okay? So meaning that, yeah, Corey's only a 4'7" guy, but if he was a 5'3" guy, no matter how much instincts and smarts he had, he couldn't play linebacker at a major college level.
Right.
So you still need a prerequisite. Same thing when we talk about wide receivers. You're right. Speed isn't the end-all be-all. Look at Jerry Rice. Mm-hmm. Daz, I know he got timed at 4'8", but people said he had a hip issue. But I saw a lot of tape. I didn't see all that much better than 4'8". Maybe 4'7".
4'6". Maybe
high 4'6".
High 4, yeah.
High 4'6", if that.
Well, what I saw from Daz was he was a good route runner, good hands, but
mature young man, yeah. good physical, good physique. Knew how to use his body, good body control. Those type of things are important too. But there is a prerequisite, and Corey Flag's a perfect example that I thought there would be some limits to him, and yet he's played much better than I thought he was going to, and even as a true freshman. So those are the surprises I love to see.
I think this is a good point right here. What do you think about this? What Dante's saying here? He said Dazzler runs great routes, catches the ball, knows his role in each play. Yet we say he's not explosive enough. We have so-called explosive wide receivers who aren't producing. So
that's true.
But we're just going based off of, but we have explosive guys that came in this 2020 class that I think are just might pan out better than explosive
have a
guys.
Much higher ceiling.
Much higher, yeah.
They'll have a much higher ceiling.
I'm trying to be careful, man, because listen, man, I hope Daz proves us wrong, and and he just lights it up. But we had our and we're gonna give our opinions on players, and we watch film and we do our breakdown. So this is what it is, man. No, I know about his previous hip injury, and maybe that's something that he's still dealing with. So I'm not saying that
could very well be he's still dealing with.
I'm not over here saying I told y'all Daz wasn't all that special, and that's the reason. I'm not saying that's the reason why. I'm just saying that when it comes to our other freshman wide receivers, I see more potential and a higher ceiling. Now,
correct.
Does Daz have?
And at the end of the day, when you're bringing guys into your program, you're trying to bring them with the highest ceiling possible.
Yeah. But I understand your point, Dante, and it's well taken.
I loved it because Ebert was saying about Flag. I loved his tape. I absolutely loved his tape from high school. I loved it. I thought he was Zach Thomas 2.0. Okay, but I did not think that at the next level, especially this quickly, he was going to be that type of player.
Zach Thomas should be in the Hall of Fame.
And he's been better.
Zach Thomas needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's a perfect example, and very much like Flag, by the way, and also it's like in Texas, undersized, Not great speed, but quick enough and fast enough and smart enough to read all the plays and get there.
Wherever the ball was at.
You don't see Corey taking a bad angle ever.
No.
Ever.
No.
Yeah, he's playing really, really well. Anthony had a question about Brandon Jennings. Anthony, I do. I liked his tape an awful lot.
Who? I didn't see
Brandon Jennings.
He committed to
Bradley.
Michigan. His brother.
Is that the one you're talking about? Because he said something about Florida State.
No, he committed to Michigan.
I know. No, I know, but I'm just saying I think that's the one he meant, or did he mean somebody from Florida State?
Let's go into transfer.
Brandon Jennings.
No, Brandon Jennings is Bradley's brother.
Yeah, exactly. So
Charles, Michigan.
Or is there another Jennings that we're talking about?
I don't know. Okay. But we got a $5 donation from Slim Sadie. He says, I've seen it for a year and a half now. Why can't this defense get off the field on 3rd and long? Well, that's something I was going to bring up actually after the after we talked about the D-line. I was going to bring up Baker.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Arthur Balome. Good evening, Junior the Big Dog. Love your show. I want to thank you guys for the take you guys did on my son, number 27, Brian Balome, when he was being recruited. Hard work pays off for a 3-star. You guys keep it going. Hey.
Oh, thank you, Arthur. Thank you so much, man. And we root for your son big time.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And we've always said stars do not matter.
Arthur, if you would have known, we always talk about that. We don't care about stars. We don't believe in stars. We think that's all. Those things are half rigged, anyways. And Brian, you want to talk about a young man? Listen, we're talking about late bloomers. Brian is a guy that if you watch his tape as a progression of his high school career, you can see him becoming a different player. Towards the end of his high school time, he was a completely different player. And you guys know we were excited as heck to get him. And we're like, how in what world is this guy a 3-star? So, and Brian, I think, was going to play some great football here at Miami. So,
yeah, he got hurt for sure.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
So yeah, I've been seeing a lot of talk on Twitter and, giving us some of these chunk plays, what's your assessment 5 games in on Baker compared to last year? Are you seeing
improved?
Okay, I was going to ask you. So you're seeing some improvements.
Some improvement. Not where it needs to be.
Right.
Still not using his players to the best of their abilities.
Yeah. But listen, when it came especially to our red zone defense,
we're doing a good job on red zone.
A really good job.
Yeah, we do. We are, and we have to cut down on some of the silly penalties.
LeBrent says something about LSU. What happened to LSU? LSU has self-imposed themselves.
Yeah, they.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, OBJ. Was handing out.
But that's money. Old.
Yeah, but I guess he's suspended.
Well, not old, but you know what I mean.
He can't be around the program, I think, for 2 years. And I just could you imagine if that would happen to in Miami? Oh my God, man! It'd be on a continuous.
But literally, it was like OBJ was counting the money. It was like, oh, yeah, here you go.
Man, it's like he wasn't even trying to pretend to hide it.
He wasn't. Nah.
It's like he wanted to be seen that he was doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
LSU dropping 8 scholarships over 2 years.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I knew about OBJ. OBJ getting suspended from the program. He's not allowed to be around the program.
What he needs to do is stop being so inconsistent and give me some more fantasy points. So Baker, you think is improved, but you're not not satisfied with what you're seeing.
I'm not satisfied yet. I'm not. I have to say I'm not. I'm seeing not quick on the adjustments.
Okay. Dante, you met Mason Smith and Leonard Taylor.
Oh my gosh. You talk about those two monsters holding down the middle of that line. Jeez. Man, I just think there's too many times where I feel scheme versus scheme, he gets beaten and doesn't make adjustments quickly enough. Doesn't game plan specifically enough. We talked about that a lot in the North Carolina game last year.
Dímelo, Roel.
And what do you say, Ro? And he's young. I get that he's young. I get that he's growing and improving and learning.
Hey, bro.
But this is the University of Miami.
I like how you're talking about the big dog on a roll. Don't forget who's first place in the division, all right?
Yeah, we were all in a fantasy league together. Yeah, but I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled with Baker. I'm not. And we're performing okay. It's not like our defense is in tatters or anything like that. We're performing pretty well defensively. But I think our defense has more talent than what it's performing. And when that happens, it's scheme. It's coaching.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You're right. You're right, D. Burnett. That's fair. He says we don't need a DC with on-the-job training. We need a more seasoned DC. And I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, he is to a certain point. He is being saved by our talent. Absolutely. Man, I'll put it this way.
Keep on hearing praises from Manny, though.
Yeah, that's his buddy. That's his protege. But the thing is this, man.
I hope so, Jonathan. I've been wanting Manny to take over, period, for a minute already, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you and me both. To be honest with you, here's the thing. If I was a DC and I see talents like Jalen Phillips, like Quincy Roche, like Jared Harrison Hunt, who, by the way, we haven't talked about,
my goodness.
and our New York connection, that one we'll take credit for, because we were telling you guys, this dude is special talent. You know how I felt about Jason Blissett also. Chug, thank you so much for the donation.
It says, let's go, Kane. Smash that like button, man. Yeah, if you guys are in here, man, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell. If you like the content, man, please help us out, share, and do all that good stuff, man. Thank you so much, Chug. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you guys are saying Bo Pelini, Todd Granham, Baker's a blend of Diaz and D'Onofrio. Unfortunately, that's fair. It's funny, but fair. Again, I go back to, if I'm a DC and I see guys that have the types of individual talents like a Jalen Phillips, like a Quincy Roche, even to an extent, Jafari Harvey, I'm going to use them in all kinds of creative ways, and all using them in a way where they're going to get one-on-ones. I'm going to make it easy on them to do the things that they do best. I don't see that enough with Blake Baker. Yeah. We talked about it last year. Okay. You put a guy who's the best pass rusher in the country in basically a quasi NASCAR package that wasn't a NASCAR package, and you put him at the nose, where automatically he's double teamed. And yes, he got 15.5 sacks. I get it. Okay. But it's still not the proper way, not to best utilize it. Okay. If it was, why didn't Ohio State do that with Chase Young? Why doesn't the Broncos do that with Von Miller? And you can't say J.J. Watt, because J.J. Watt sometimes played at the tackle in pass rushing downs, but that's when they had outside guys to blitz. He also played a lot at the end. Right. Okay, so it is not utilizing your players in the best way possible. And I think as a coordinator, your number one job is roster management. Okay, this is the skill sets. These are the skill sets of my players. It was why we were angry last season on that name that won't be mentioned, that was the OC last year. We were struggling in short yardage situations, and our power back didn't get a carry in a short yardage situation until game number 12 of the season. Yeah. Okay, that was the first time Robert Burns got a short yardage carry.
Shoot, Robert Burns has been getting carries almost every single game this year.
And almost never is he ever brought down by the first guy. And that's a good point. You know, I have seen some stunts, Guzman, Chris, but it's they're not at the right time. They're not in the right way. Okay, because for example, okay, you know, there's ET stunts and there's TE stunts. So with a guy like Jalen Phillips, I've seen stunts, but they're ET stunts. So Jalen's the one that ties up inside, and then the tackle's the one that goes around the outside. Well, your most athletic guy, you're using him to tie up a blocker, actually try to tie up two blockers. Now you run that same stunt as a TE stunt where the tackle goes in, goes out, and then Jalen comes around. Now you got something. There's just, can I fix LSU's defense, man? They're struggling, and it's definitely not just talent. That's for sure. So there's things that Blake Baker doesn't do that I think I'm concerned, man. I'm concerned because, yeah, do I see him? Is he better than last year? Okay, he's better than last year. That's still nowhere near where we need to be. So that's my take on Baker. I keep always going to do that. I always call him Blaker. On Blake Baker. I'd like to see him scheme better, scheme more specifically.
Less zone.
And it's not utilizing your players to the best of their abilities. And also, you want to set it up where your players are playing fast, where your players are not thinking. They're reacting. You want to put them in positions.
Do you think we're seeing too? Do you think we're seeing too much zone?
I'm not again, it's not matching. It's not matching what you're doing to the skill set of your players.
Right.
Okay, our players could play more man, more stunts, more getting those players. For example, I don't think we've seen any plays that I can think of. I don't think we've seen any snaps that you put Roche and Phillips on the same side.
Oh,
mixing them up.
I disagree, Slim Shady.
What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Slim with the donation. Thank you, Slim.
Slim with a $5 donation. I don't want my head coach to pull double duty, so I'm taking other folks' approach. Fire Baker and give me back Randy as DC. I know what he can do with Miami talent. I disagree.
Randy was a little too vanilla for me.
I wasn't a big fan of Randy.
But listen, he's had success. But I'd much rather see, with our talent, I'd much rather see a Bo Pelini, a Todd Granham, a Brett Venables. I'd rather see that type of attacking DC matches the skill set of the players from
Manny Diaz, man.
Manny, exactly. Manny did a hell of a job with us. Yeah, I wasn't. And I love Randy Shannon as a human being.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But as a DC man, he was way too vanilla for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, KC Cruz. With a donation. Thank
you so much. Appreciate that, Slim. We said we can all agree Bubba Bolden is an All-American, probably best safety in the country. So why didn't he start the game?
I saw that, but yeah, I don't know what the deal was there. I don't know what.
I don't think it was because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. He played. I think he was the top safety in snaps. He was. I think he got more snaps than Gervin Hall, and then Amari was third among safeties. So he got the most snaps. At the end of the game, KC, I don't care about starters. I care about snaps.
Yeah.
And when I was mad last year about Rousseau, it wasn't just that he didn't start until game number 6. It was he was only getting like 20 snaps a game.
Yeah,
and he still let us in.
That's where I'm at, D. That's the kind of and we do
different looks, exactly.
But Baker, okay, now let me try to defend Baker a little bit here. He goes through spurts where you're like, oh man, great call.
What I can see. Right.
This is what I want. And then he does sometimes show you some stunts, and he does mix things up at his little wrinkles, and then brings different guys on blitzes, but then he goes through these stretches where you're just like, what are you doing, dude? Where is that bend, but don't break defense?
Well, no. Here's the thing. Two things. Number one is, I think Blake needs to have better use of his player skill sets, and he needs to be able to game plan more team specific, opponent specific. And number three, making game adjustments better, faster, and always try to take away what that team likes doing best.
Dante, I completely disagree with you.
What's that?
What Manny did with this defense, what he turned it into. We were ranked like in the hundreds, my man, before Manny took over this defense.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, Dante
turned it into one of the best defenses in the country, man. So I don't know how that is overrating Manny as a DC.
Well, but Dante, here's the thing, man. You saw Randy as a DC for us, and yes, we led the nation in defense with.
I'd rather have Manny
10
than
guys
Randy.
Drafted in the first round.
Yeah, I'd rather have Manny than Randy.
Yeah, I would rather have Manny as DC and Randy too, because I like and Dante. One of the things that we've talked about is with Rhett Lashley, we have an offense that matches the talent that we get from South Florida. Well, let me flip it on the other side of the ball. Randy's type of schemes don't take advantage of the talent that we have in South Florida. Randy was very much 4-3, vanilla coverage, and have our athletes out-athlete their athletes, which is fine. It worked back then, but it's not as aggressive as I'd like to see it.
Right.
So that's the thing. But at the end of the day, we're talking about Baker. Yeah, I'm starting to leaning. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that he'd grow into it. I'm not seeing fast enough growth. Okay. I mean, does that?
Yeah, no, that's good. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
No, concrete. Listen, back then he was succeeding with. I mean, Sean Taylor was a backup to Ed Reed. I mean, when you have that type of talent, man, just inflate the balls and get out of the way. And you look at, I mean, how many first rounders were on those defenses? But Randy played very vanilla defense. He was not innovative on defense. It wasn't necessarily, his idea was, I have the better athletes. I'm going to play you straight up, and we're going to win our battles. And they did for the most part. So,
yeah. Haiti. Why don't you guys listen to the coaches and players' interviews? They provided answers to the questions you are discussing. We listen to. I don't know what that means.
No, we have.
Yeah, but we give our different spin and different take on it.
Oh, you're right. Shiano. No, Randy. I think Randy was the DC all the way. No, Shiano was already at Rutgers when we won the national championship in 2001. If I'm not mistaken, the DC then was Randy. You can fact check me on that though. But if I'm not mistaken, Shiano was already gone to Rutgers when we won the championship in 2001. You guys have it that he became DC in 2002? Because I was pretty sure Randy was DC in 2001. But you could double check that.
Okay. It's obviously rooting for Manny as head coach, but y'all are putting on it. Randy DC.
UCF Natty.
I like Randy. Like,
yeah, but what did they just lose to Memphis 52-49?
No, and their football's canceled for now.
Did UCF to cancel it now?
Oh no, not UCF. I'm thinking about Florida. You saw Florida?
Yeah. Florida is having some serious issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but UCF just lost to Memphis 52-49, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but they're the best team in the state, man, according to UCF.
They got 2 L's already, so they're having a rough year. For them, especially, yeah. But
so it is what it is. But yeah, man. So let's start winding it down a little bit, big dog.
Okay.
So guess Virginia.
Let's start talking about Virginia.
Yeah. Some, what keys do you see? With Virginia.
Well, they're apparently going to have a 3-headed monster at quarterback.
Yeah, what's going on with
kind of weird. I guess they got 2 guys that are really better passers, they feel, and then one guy who's a really good runner. And they sort of, I don't know, they're going to get all 3 of them in the game, and all that because Armstrong is injured with a concussion. He's not expected to play. The thing, Virginia doesn't have the defense that they once had, or they normally have. I really think Miami should break out in offensively in this game. And I'm not saying break out because we scored 52 against Florida State. We've played relatively well. I mean, 17 against Clemson was our only bad game, and obviously 7 of those were on a blocked field goal. So, but I mean, truly bad game. Every other game we scored over 30. I see offensively, I see them struggling against our defense. And then defensively, I see them struggling against our offense. But our wide receivers have to show up. We need a big game. If we get a big game for our wide receivers, we roll Virginia. Roll.
Then it just changes the whole dynamic of the opposing defense and how they're going to.
And obviously, our offensive line has to hold up too. If Jared Williams doesn't play, then that's going to affect us negatively also.
Is Randy responsible for a loss to Memphis? He's not the coach now. All I'm saying is they've both Randy and Manny done great things here as DCs. One over the other. Randy with Manny's head coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I love Randy Shannon. You can make a case that Randy Shannon is as much of the U as any person. I mean, to me, he's like Arquijo. He's one of these guys that's just is Miami family. I mean, that's Miami royalty. Randy Shannon, player, coach, you name it, coordinator, head coach. But as a DC, he just wasn't my cup of tea. I'll say that much. He wasn't my cup of tea. I've always been more of an attacking defense type of guy, and Randy's defense wasn't attacking. It could attack because of the players that we had, but that's just my thing with Randy. He just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah. I don't think our defense is playing average, Casey, because Casey just asked, will Diaz ever pull the trigger on Baker with the D playing just average like it is right now? I don't think our defense is playing average. I just don't believe that they're playing as good as they can.
Right. I mean, that's fair.
But I wouldn't say that we're an average defense.
No, I think we're above average, but I think there's potential to be better than that. And that's that we haven't necessarily reached with Baker. And Anthony, what you were asking before, I'm not a huge fan of Patricia, and I think he's going to want an NFL job. But yeah, I know he's going to be looking for work. But I'm not really. It's Patricia got a lot of credit for coaching the defense at New England, and we all know who sort of really coaches the defense at New England,
right?
So. I'm not a big fan of Virginia. But listen, if Manny does decide to go a different way, at DC, there's a lot of DCs out there. I just don't see him going in a different way.
I don't see it either.
Yeah.
And listen, maybe Baker just gets better and better and better. I mean, who knows? So how do you envision this game? Because let's start wrapping it up, big dog. Let's do some rapid fire questions if you guys want. Let's start wrapping it up. And let's start doing our predictions for the Virginia game. What do you think? What are you thinking?
If our receivers have the type of game I expect them to have, I think that this whole opening up the competition, I think was a very good idea. I'll say 47-16.
Ooh. I got it. 41-17.
Okay, we're pretty close.
Yeah.
We're pretty close. Yeah, no doubt. Virginia's always been a problem for us. Absolutely. Yeah. And they have usually a very good defense, but they have a lot of injury problems on defense.
Brem is not healthy, Dan, and he might not.
Yeah, he might not play.
He might not play.
It looks. I from what I could tell, because I hate that, man, and I get it, but I hate it because these college coaches with injuries, man, they never want to talk about injuries, and I know there's HIPAA laws and stuff like that, but it seemed to me that Manny was feeling confident about Brevin coming back.
Nothing new
later, not for this game
on Jay Garcia, Anthony.
Yeah, nothing new. Nothing new.
I know USC was offering another quarterback for the class, but nothing, no new kind of rumors or whatever. Says I
Sean, that's a good question. Put up Sean's name comment up there.
Hey, do you feel Miami needs an upgrade at linebacker coach? No development. The players seem to regress the longer they are at UM. Packy?
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, Packy. I don't know how much coaching of the linebackers Manny does anymore.
I saw Utah.
I still think he has his hand in the pot there. And
56-10. That would be nice.
Yeah. USC offered a third QB. That's that bodes well for us. I mean that's the thing. I've never been a great fan of Packy's. I have never been a great fan of Packy's. I did not see a lot of development in Shaq, Pinckney, and McLeod. I know there were some limitations there, but at the same time, you expected to see much more development than we did. Yeah, man. I think maybe we do need a different face there at the linebacker, but I don't know if Manny's going to pull the trigger on that either. So,
yeah. All right, so give me your offensive MVP of the game and your defensive MVP of the game.
Okay.
Like we do every week. Come on.
Offensive MVP, I'm going to go with Will Mallory.
I'm going to go Jalen Nyan. Go ahead.
Okay. Defensive MVP, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Bubba Bolden runs one back. I'll go with Bubba Bolden.
I'm going to go with Jalen Phillips. I think he's going to have a couple sacks.
All right.
Some TFLs.
All right. Dan says Roche again. Yeah, he played a whale of a ball game. That was his best game. I agree with Manny. Watching the tape, that was his best game.
Yeah.
So,
well, guys, man, it's been a real one.
Scorpio, as far as I know, Manny is technically coaching the linebackers still, and I'm imagining Packy is having a lot of not just a striker, but since Manny's a head coach, he's coaching the linebackers a lot more. So, but go ahead.
What do you think about getting Terrence Lewis, man?
Man, it's hard to turn down that tape.
Sure is, man.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take him.
And just conversation. I mean, they're talking.
Yeah, there's just too much talent there, man. That ceiling on him is high. That kid's a ball player.
He sure is, man.
That kid's a baller. So yeah, I mean, I let's do it. Let's get him and hopefully everything turns out all right.
Let's just round out the class with Mason,
Mason Smith,
Terrence Lewis, and just throw in Jay Garcia.
Jay Garcia, and then we're good.
Yeah,
we call it a day. Yeah, you ain't kidding. That would be a hell of a class, man. I think so too. Zoo Pride, I think so too, man. I think we have to roll the dice with them if we get them.
Do it, man.
Yeah,
do it. Have a buy into the culture, man.
Yeah. Listen, our culture is strong now, man. I really think our 2020 class has made a big difference on the culture.
Oh, big dog, I got a good one for you. Terrence Lewis or Jason Marshall?
Ooh, Jason Marshall.
Yeah.
Jason Marshall.
Yeah. Hey man, if we finish out,
Jason's a stud, man.
Yeah, he is.
We haven't had
and we need it.
Yeah. Jason Marshall's a shutdown corner.
I think we need DBs more than we need linebackers at this point.
Well, just Jason Marshall. I think just
corners.
They're both special players, but getting a corner of that level.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that.
It's huge. Man. It's huge.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah, we think our quarterback. Yeah, Marshall. Hey, recruiting isn't over until Penn puts a paper, and even after that, now the way the transfer portal is.
That's true.
So
that's true. Look at Isaiah Walker. That's a guy I'm excited about. Nobody ever talks about him.
Yeah,
and I get it. He hasn't played and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm excited about Rivers as well, though.
Oh, I am too. I think
Washington.
Man, guys, I am so I think our offensive line woes are a thing of the past, man.
Oh man,
and that's such a good thing to have.
Who's the kid? Who's the kid coming in on
Seymour?
No,
Seymour?
No.
Who are we talking about? The tackle you're talking about?
Huh?
The big tackle, the one that's like 6'7". Talking about offensive tackle? Or are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
I'm excited about him.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's another guy that's going to be much like Chris Washington. That long arm, that long frame.
Yeah.
Listen, sometimes, man, tackles are born tackles. They're just born tackles. Yeah. And that's why, I mean, you look at Isaiah Walker and you look at Jalen Rivers, and I know they haven't playing guard now, but I think down the road that's going to be a tackle.
Yeah.
And a good one.
I'm with you on that.
I think so, Dan. I think the offensive line coach, I think we made a good change.
Better hire.
Because I've already seen the improvement with Garen Johnson. Listen, there's guys that are just not made for college ball. They're made more for the NFL ball.
You might get more than some Burn next year, Guzman. Because if King doesn't come back,
then it'll be a competition. Basically, even if we get Jay Garcia, the competition will be TBD and Nkosi.
Yeah.
So and Peyton Matocha. Don't take Peyton Matocha out of the competition. So
right. So hey, it's been a good one, man. We'll see what happens on Saturday. Hopefully, let's kick some butt. Yeah. And we'll be back Sunday morning as we go ahead and review the game, and absolutely. we discussed the Miami Hurricanes coming out on top, and we discussed various topics, man. So if you guys can't catch us on a Sunday morning because you got church or you got whatever, you just catch us on the replay. But those notifications will be sent out, man. And we usually get a good turnout on Sundays because a lot of guys want to just chop it up with us to see what we thought about the game, and and so we'll see you guys on Sunday at 11.
Yep.
We didn't even talk about Tua. Maybe we'll talk about Tua on Sunday, considering it's a bye week.
It's Tua time.
It's Tua time, baby. So hey, man, if you guys have made it this far in the show, man, if you're not a subscriber yet to the Junior and the Big Dog and you enjoy the content, man, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button. Approaching 2,500. So, we're trying to go ahead and increase those numbers, increase the Junior and the Big Dog family. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you can get notified anytime me and the Big Dog do go live. We go live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. And like we just mentioned, we also go live for our post games on Sunday mornings, man. And besides that, we cover recruiting, breakdowns with videos, high school tape, man. Just check out our library and you'll be able to see all of those videos. So thank you guys so much for joining us, man. For the guys that donated, for the guys that just contributed with their comments and just hanging out with me and the Big Dog. We can't say it enough, man. How much we really appreciate you guys, man, for your support and for just joining me and the Big Dog on a Wednesday night and talking some Miami Hurricanes football with us. So thank you guys so much, man, and we'll see you guys on Sunday. Go Canes, baby. As always,
it's all about this you. Thank you guys. Good night.